and welcome to Galley Stories, stories of the Bering Sea and beyond, hosted by Mark Kaler. My name is Penka Jane, podcast deckhand and longtime listener. We'd thank you to subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review. Here's today's catch.
Hello guys, and welcome back to another installment of Galley Stories, stories of the Bering Sea and beyond. I'm your host, Mark Kaler. And today we have a unique feature, actually. We drove over to Beverly, and we're going to be interviewing Captain Therese Sauvageau. How are you today, Therese?
I'm good.
Good. So let's just start with how we start every episode. We're going to ask you where you were born, how you were raised, and what brought you into the industry.
I was born in Salem, but lived in Beverly most of my life. Right up the hill, and I'm the oldest of 6 kids, so I get to go out a lot without being supervised because there were so many kids to supervise. So I used to hang around down the wharf, which was only 3 houses down. And my father would take me out fishing. We went fishing. We had a rowboat. And go flounder fishing. My father loved fishing. He really loved fishing. Then I would hang around down this wharf, and I would say, I can do that, I can do this. And well, here you go, try it. So one guy gave me a few traps, and I had a rowboat, and I'd put them on he showed me a little bit how to fix them, and I'd go out and put the traps out, and I'd catch lobsters. He goes, how'd you catch those lobsters in that trap? They had big holes in the traps. Well, I caught some nice big lobsters in them. So anyway, I learned how to fix them up. And they had a fish trap boat that I used to work on. And that's how I got my bait. Nobody else wanted to go out on this fish trap boat because it'd be in 4 o'clock in the morning. But a couple of my girlfriends, her father that ran the fish trap boat, besides the owner of the Rowans across the street, he was the owner of the fish trap boat. We'd go out, have to haul in the net, and on the way out he'd get a couple dozen donuts and say to the girls, oh, how's those nice greasy donuts doing in your stomach? And the girls would get sick. But I was okay with it. So anyway, we'd haul the fish trap in. We'd get 10,000 mackerel. There'd be other fish in the net too. There'd be monkfish. Lots of fish in the trap. But anyway, we haul that, and I would get bait from it. That was my pay. I'd get bait. And then I'd go out with my little rowboat, and one of the guys one of the guys over there, his father gave me 10 traps. They were all wooden traps back then. So they were kind of heavy, but they were okay. I made up. And in the wintertime, I used to have to bait hooks. That was the worst job. 300 hooks in a tub for $3.
For the tub?
Yeah. That was horrible. I didn't like doing it, but I did it. Get a few bucks. You'd get $5 for reeling the net. I liked reeling nets better, but everybody else did too.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to do that so much. But it was fun.
Can you explain what a fish trap boat is?
A fish trap boat is like a lobster boat, but it has a boom on it. So you just tie that up at the mouth of the fish trap. Then you'd have a dory. You have to row down to the dory, go down to the mouth, and reel into the net and hold it so you get the fish into the pocket. And then once the fish are into the pocket, you have to reel it in till the fish are jumping around, and then you would take the big net from the boat, scoop it up, and put them into the big boat. And
Would that then be sold to other fishermen as bait, but you were taking your pay as part of that?
Yeah, they did, but they sold a lot of those fish to New York. We'd have to sort them out, the big, the medium, and the large and stuff. But But for the most part, yeah, they used them for bait too.
Did you work on very many other people's boats before you went on to getting your own? Or how did that process work?
I worked on a couple of the guys' boats over there. Yeah, a lot of their wives didn't want a girl working on the boat, so I worked on a few guys' boats. So mostly I had to pick up all the stuff myself. All the information, or, just by watching people, basically, is how I picked it up.
And then you started upgrading from your rowboat?
Yeah, then I upgraded to an Amesbury skiff. That was pretty cool. And let's see, really back then you could get a commercial fishing license for $10. So I had a commercial fishing license. And I'd always have a job somewhere trying to get a bigger and better boat or more traps, because nothing was given to me because there was too many kids in the family. So I always had a job. But I liked the fish trap one. That was pretty cool. I probably never did dragging. We did hooking. I did go gill netting with a few people. But I got tennis. What do you got?
Tennis elbow?
Not elbow. I think my wrist.
Like
Tennis
carpal
wrist.
tunnel or?
Yeah, it might have been something like that. And it wouldn't go away, so I had to give that job up. But I had a lot of other jobs too. When I finally graduated school, I used to drive a truck and deliver motor oil and antifreeze. And those when they had big heavy cases back then. 24 cans in a case.
Yeah, cans in a case.
Yeah. And people were amazed that I could do that. But I did it. And then in the summertime I'd go out after work and I'd do that till I finally got enough traps. So then I got upgraded to another boat. This boat was the Seagull. It was like a 32-foot, like a little Novi boat. That boat wasn't that great, but that boat was good for a little while till I upgraded to...
Well, wait, now on this one, how many traps were you running on her?
Let's see, probably 400.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 400 or so.
Now, did your commercial fishing license then start costing more, and how did that process work, or were you grandfathered in because you got yours initially?
Oh, the price just goes up, like with everything. All fees go up on everything. I was grandfathered. I was grandfathered in, so I still had the license. But yeah, every year you have to buy a license, and like the price goes up every year.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of that's based on the number of pots you have too, or?
No, really back then everybody used to have an agreement, like that they only fish 400 traps. And that was good. Everybody could make a living on the 400 traps until a bunch of younger kids started coming into the business, and they would put out 1,000 traps or 2,000 traps, and they kind of ruined it for a lot of all the little guys. The guys that were really fishing the 400. It was like a gentleman's agreement. So now, since they started doing that, everybody got together and they said, well, we can't have these guys fishing all these traps, because they're ruining the price. Mm-hmm. So then they put a limit on it. And now the limit is 800 traps.
No matter how big your boat is.
That's right. No matter how big your boat is, you can have 800 traps, and that's all you're supposed to legally fish. Some people maybe fish more, some people don't. But they put the gauge up a few times of the lobsters. because they're trying to save the industry. They said our price was going to get better, but it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
They lied.
So what was your next boat upgrade then?
My next boat was the Sea Witch. That was my favorite boat. It was a little hard chime boat. It was a good boat. Probably one of my favorites.
So where's she now then?
I think somebody cut it up.
Oh yeah.
I sold it to somebody when I bought this boat and said, hey, just give me $500 a month. That's it, till you pay for it. I didn't charge him very much. And then he didn't pay me for a long time. I goes, hey, where's my money? And I had to take him to court, but he was a friend of mine.
Was?
He did pay me. He's still a friend of mine. I went to school with him. I went to school with most of the people around here that lobster now. A lot of the Bartletts, they fish. There was the father and 3 boys, they fished. And most of the people, they couldn't stand me when I first started fishing, but they got to know me and knew I wasn't a cutthroat or nothing, I tie everybody back if they crossed me, and so and like I said, I grew up with them. There's a lot of things that you probably would have done differently because I drank too much. Yep. I think that was part of the business. Drinking was part of the business.
I think in some areas it still is.
Yeah.
So a question that my wife really wanted to make sure that you were asked is, and you've said it, you've already touched on it a bit, but do you think that you have faced additional difficulties as a woman being in this industry?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because a lot of the guys don't want to take you out on a boat because their wives are jealous, or they don't trust the guys, or so I've never been dragging. I would have liked to do that, and I've never been scalloping either. There's other things. I've done a lot, but
I saw a sign above your locker, your net locker.
Yeah.
That says Captain Therese Sauvageau, Beverly's first lobster woman, circa 1953.
My husband makes signs up all the time. It was Therese. Yeah, there's a good sign for you. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He likes to put signs all over the place, and
I think it's a pretty cool sign.
Yeah. I wasn't born then, though. Oh, I was born a year before that.
Oh, okay. So he's claiming you were lobstering right out of the gate. Okay. Well, it sounds like you started pretty young anyway, when your dad started bringing you out and taking you fishing, and what did your dad think about? Because it sounds like you were close to him. What did your dad think about when you were a young kid rolling out here with 6 dilapidated lobster traps and going to set them out by yourself?
Oh, he had no problem with that. He trusted me. He was always working, so he was always out working. So he had no problem, and I was strong back then.
Have you ever encountered issues getting a crew?
I never had a crew.
So
I never needed one until I got this big boat. And then I had all the problems.
So you did, until you bought, when did you buy this boat? Or when did you upgrade to this boat?
2001.
2001.
Yep.
So prior to 2001, since you started, you've never ran a crew. You've always been just solo.
I'd have a girlfriend go out with me. I did have a crew. I did have a crew. I'd get people out of the bar, and they'd crew for me. Sometimes I had a couple steady people back then that would crew for me. But if they didn't come, if they didn't show up, I'd go out without them. Mm-hmm. I had no problem with that. Mm-hmm. So.
And still, even today, guys, when I got here, she had just gotten back from out on a trip. Her boat's still warm. We're actually on her boat now. That's dedication. So how you go out most days?
I go out most days. I try and take one day off because the downfall of being a woman, you have to do laundry, clean the house. You have to do all that stuff that you don't really want to do, but somebody's got to do it.
It's got to get done.
Yep.
It's got to get done. Where do you see yourself continuing for? I mean, is this the future?
Let's see. Since I've had this boat, I've had 2 rotor cuff surgeries, 2 knee replacements. Oh, when I had the Sea Witch, I had a back fusion. And I've had another back fusion. I've had 2 back fusions. And I do need a shoulder replacement, but we're coping with that. I've been working with a fractured wrist.
I was gonna say she's bandaged up right now,
but it's getting better.
but still going.
But I can still work with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I slowed down a lot because I used to fish all winter too back then, and now I stopped fishing all winter because I'd have surgeries instead now. You know,
winters for surgeries and
yeah, winters just for surgeries. Now I'm just going to take winters off and just maybe take vacations instead.
yeah.
You know, because we own a restaurant and now our son is running the restaurant, which is good.
That's the Anchor.
The Anchor Pub and Grill.
Yep, located in
Yep.
Beverly.
Yeah.
And what I find funny is when we were walking down to her boat, which is maybe a block, 2 blocks at the most.
1 block.
And so it's across the street actually from the Anchor, and the house 2 houses down is where she grew up.
Yep.
Just all right here. So you were explaining that this building, what did you call it? It was the buying station.
Rowan's Wharf. It was. That's where there's a lot of people that had their boats there. That's where the fish trap boat was, and a lot of people that helped me out. You know, when I came along, you know, they just helped me out. And
And he was one of them.
Elliot, he let me work on his boat. Yeah, he was a good guy. He wished that his son was like me.
Hmm.
Maybe their work ethic wasn't the same. So.
Sounds like you had some of that.
Yeah, I was always busy. I like to work.
Got that from your dad?
Yeah, I think I did. He was a jack of all trades. Master of none, jack of all trades. At the end, he was a fireman. And at the end, when he retired, he came and worked on my boat. And then he said, geez, I got a crank in my back. He goes, well, I just worked through it, you know, this and that. But he ended up having bone cancer and dying a couple of years after. But he always wanted to work with me.
And
He
did.
was a good guy. Yep.
That's great. That's really good. What kind of advice would you have for young ladies looking to get into the industry? Or would you have advice?
I don't know. Just keep trying. Do your best. Stay strong. Don't back down.
Have you had some? Obviously, all these years fishing, you had to have had a couple times when you were a little scared and nervous out there. Can you share one of those with us?
Oh, one time I was coming in and there was big waves out there. The waves were coming right in the back of the boat almost, washing out. It's like I was just about staying ahead of the wave before I got in. The boat wasn't a big boat, you know, but that was probably the scariest time.
Did you had
I think I had a crew with one guy who used to work with me. I had one guy that worked for me. So even now I have one guy that works for me. He's a good guy. He shows up every day. I'm lucky because he doesn't drink, he don't smoke, and he's here every day before me.
Oh, nice. So
And he buys me a pastry.
every day?
Every day. If I tell him not to, he does it.
So wait, what about this wave now?
Oh, it was scary. It was a scary wave, but we made it through. We got in and didn't sink, so that was good.
Did you already have your lobster on board and in crated up?
No, they were just in the tank.
Okay, so they were safe.
Yeah.
What has fishing given you today that you probably wouldn't have had without it?
Fishing is it's really relaxing to me. It's like when you go out, it's like going to church. You're always hoping I pray when I go out every morning that the day is going to be good. And everything will be safe. And I catch a lot. And God is good.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Anything else you want to share with us? As in your husband's words, the first female lobsterman in Beverly?
I'm not really the first female lobsterman in Beverly.
Hey, I read the sign.
I had a friend of mine. She was like my second mom. She used to lobster with her husband. Well, most of them lobstered with their husbands, so most of them didn't take the boat out alone. But she was always good to me. I guess that's all I need to share.
Okay. You know, something you mentioned when we were walking down here, that you really missed the way that lobstering used to be, that you used to really enjoy it, and that when you started, you enjoyed it more than now.
Yeah, back in the olden days, you didn't have to write reports. Now you need a bookkeeping job to go lobstering. You have to fill reports out every day of what you caught, where you caught it, the area, how many, what time of day you went out. It wasn't like that back in the olden days. You just went out. Even the people that fished back then, I mean, they took away half everybody's gill netting. People can't gill net for fish no more. They think they're depleted, which I think that if they just kept on going the way they were, it would have been fine.
So do you think, I mean, for as long as you've been fishing, you've seen probably peaks and valleys. Has the population depleted?
Yes, it has. But it's like lobstering. If you let the people go out and fish, they know where the fish are. So let them catch them.
Mm-hmm.
When they don't come in with nothing, okay, that's fine. It's like everything. It's like a revolution. Like there was dinosaurs, now there's not.
Right.
They think that we're gonna. They want us to stop fishing because to save the whales. The whales are more important than people, which is not good. People are more important than whales. If they're gonna die, they're gonna die. We're not killing them. We do everything we can to make them live.
Yeah, you tag the reproducing females and release them.
Oh yeah, we have to notch the females when they have eggs. We can't take them. We can't take them if they have notches on their tails. We can't take them if their back's over 5 inches anymore. I mean, we could take big ones before. You have to be in a different area now to do that.
So your area is restricted on the size that you can even take home.
Yep, we can't take big lobsters.
How far out are your traps? I mean, obviously I'm not going to ask you location. You're not going to share that with me.
They're probably. I haven't moved out too far, but I'll go like 5 miles behind a rock, maybe.
Mm-hmm. And what's a good day?
This year there hasn't been too many good days, but like I said, some years are off, maybe they're reproducing. In other years, make up for it. I mean, I think I might have had 400 pounds one day, maybe a little more than 400 pounds one day here, this year. That was probably my good day. But I've had, in previous years, 500 or 600 pounds.
And you're out at 4 in the morning, and
I'm out at 5:30. I don't have to get up that early to go out. I like to go out when the sun's up early, but it's not cooperating at this time of year.
Yeah. So when does winter start then? Oh wait, let me rephrase that. When does surgery season start?
It starts in January.
And when does it end?
Let's see, March, April. I usually start in May now, so. And there's nothing around then.
How often do you eat lobster?
I'll take a soft lobster home now and then. Not as often as I could. I like crabs better. I eat crab. I like the crabs better than the lobsters, but.
We just had I don't know, dinner or lunch, however we want to call it. And I had steak and lobster, and you had the the seafood cakes.
Yeah, seafood.
So
cakes.
I had to order seafood cakes, because if the owner of the bar is ordering the seafood cakes, that's got to be something awesome. And they were very good.
Yeah, they're usually good.
Yeah. So now you got your husband. Your son is running the anchor now, so that gives you more time in the evenings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before I used to have to go food shopping, do the slips in the morning before I went out, order the liquor, order the beer. Yeah, I had to do a lot.
It was pretty busy in there for 3
o'clock in the afternoon. Get the repair. You know, if the ice machine was broken, I get the repair guy. That's what I used to do all the time. So it's good now.
Okay, well, Therese, is there anything else you want to share with us?
Nope, life is good when you're fishing. That's it.
That's a good way to end it. All right, guys, thanks for listening, and this has been Captain Therese excuse me. Yeah, I get there. Sauvageau.
Yeah.
And all right, guys, we will see you next time.
We used to go to Gloucester drinking in all the bars and stuff. It's like we used to go there to get paid. I played pool. One of the bars was House of Mitch. It was a cool place, and I used to play cribbage with him. I mean, he was a good guy, but I used to drink. I drank too much back then.
I think a lot of people in our industry do. You know?
Yeah, I can't drink like I used to.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
There's camaraderie in fishing, but
yeah.
It sounds like you did so much of it solo. But when you got back inside,
we'd go to Gloucester. I worked for one guy, and I worked for a few guys. And we go to Gloucester. We would drink in the bar all night long. Work, drink in the bar till like 11, 1. I'd sleep on the boat, and we'd go back out in the morning and do the same thing every day. I mean, I could still get up, do my job every day. Doesn't matter how much I drank back then.
Yeah.
You know, and still be focused.
Yeah.
You know?
Get the job done.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to play pool, but, not sit around and just sit and drink. We'd play pool.
Did that influence you into buying this, or was it the fact that your husband had such an awesome restaurant over in Salem?
No. My husband he ran restaurants. He had a little dive bar down the street that, he got divorced and got married. We got married after that.
And then just decided to buy this one.
And we lived in Salem, and he goes, okay, we got to. I sold like a couple of insurance things I had. To buy this place, and we lived in a little like 2-room apartment till they finished building the upstairs and finished.
Yeah.
We bought that. It was a bankrupt. The guy went bankrupt, but he gutted the place, so there was nothing in there.
Yeah.
So we had to fix it all up. It's like, but he did it. I mean, he did all this. He never got depressed or nothing. I mean,
just stay focused and cheery
Yeah.
and just get it
I
done.
mean, he knew what to do, and he always did. You know, he's good at that.
That's great.
He's a good restaurant person.
That's awesome.
Thanks for listening to Galley Stories. We hope you like what the net brought in. Please leave us a review on iTunes. Whether you like it or not, we're not fishing for compliments. Look us up on Facebook and Twitter too, and reach out to us at galleystories@gmail.com.